이 시간 저와 함께할 특별한 친구를 소개하겠습니다. 여러분, AI 아바타 보블리입니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 AI 아바타 보블리입니다. 여러분 반가워요. AI 아바타로서 너무너무 만나뵙고 싶었던 한-아세안의 문화, 예술 전문가들을 이 자리에서 만나뵐 수 있다니 너무너무 기대됩니다. 오늘 다채로운 이야기들이 준비되어 있다고 하니 한순간도 놓치지 마세요.
보블리 너무 귀엽네요. 감사합니다, 보블리. 저도 보블리랑 함께하게 돼서 더욱 든든합니다. 그럼 2021 한-아세안 문화혁신포럼 전문가 발표 세션을 먼저 시작해 보도록 하겠습니다. 첫 번째 세션입니다. 문화예술이 기술을 만날 때를 주제로 아세안 3개국의 아티스트 분들과 함께합니다. 문화예술가로서 기술 융합을 통해서 창작과 교류를 확대했던 경험을 공유해 주실 예정인데요. 세 분의 발표가 끝난 후에는 실시간 토론 시간이 마련되어 있으니까요. 궁금하신 내용이나 전하고 싶은 메시지는 채팅창에 남겨주시면 감사하겠습니다. 첫 번째 발표는 비주얼 아트 업계를 선도하는 박스 컬렉티브의 창립자입니다. 베트남의 크레이지 먼키님께서 수고해 주시겠습니다. 크레이지 먼키님께서는 순수 예술을 전공하셨고요. 또 일러스트레이터로 활동을 시작하셨는데요. 리얼타임 그래픽스, NFT 아트워크와 같은 기술을 더해서 세계적으로 인정받는 시각 아티스트로 성장하셨습니다. 문화와 기술의 결합으로 성장해온 과정과 또 그가 생각하는 미래 예술에 대해서 전해주신다고 하니까요. 직접 들어보겠습니다.
Hello, ASEAN-ROK Cultural Innovation Summit 2021. I'm Lê Thanh Tung, also known as Crazy Monkey. I'm the visual artist, creative director, and founder of visual studio Box Collective. I was born in Hanoi, but now I live and work in Ho Chi Minh City, South Vietnam. I started my career as an illustrator about 10 years ago. And now I work with real-time graphic software like Smart, Unreal Engines, Resolume, and Notch, and have practiced seriously in real-time computer graphics for the last 6 years. With real-time graphics, I'm particularly interested in volumetric, and I have applied that technology a lot in work. I often collaborate with dancers to capture their volumetric images and use it as my aesthetic materials. For me, it's about saving cultural values into a digital format, and that process always amazes me. Also, I start doing NFT work to learn about how this market works. As you can see now, is my latest NFT collection called Culture. It's now on the Foundation website. The transition from traditional art tools to real-time graphics took me about 2 years. I had to learn a lot of things from the beginning. However, once I reached the point where I use real-time graphics software a bit confidently, I realized what I learned from traditional art with what I'm doing now with digital art shares the same creative process and the same aesthetic root. With the help of technology, I have found many possibilities for my art creation. The art is not static, it can transform dynamically. The artwork is no longer limited to a 2D canvas, but can be displayed in many different formats, surface, and form. Along with the explosion of internet and technology in Vietnam, the percent of screens from personal devices, from LED screens or computers, where people look at them every day to communicate and work, has created a new creative space for digital artists like me. So creative space create a new possibility for the display of artwork, which in my opinion are difficult for traditional art forms to keep up with. The combination of technology and art had no precedent in Vietnam. When people have only been taught by this concept in the last few years, in a country where we have to be careful with the words, the digital environment is an escape portal for young Vietnamese artists. When technology is a daily bread, it is really easy to reach the higher level in that space, such as technology and art. That is why digital art content is of such widespread interest. The explosion of virtual reality content during social distancing, or the digital currency technology that create NFTs, building an unprecedented P2P art exchange base, will be a revolution in content creation and will be applied wisely in future art markets. For me, as a Vietnamese artist, when I stand in front of that picture, I'm really overwhelmed and excited. I still want to preserve my traditional art heritage, but I will find ways to combine them with technological trends. Technology has changed the world, and now it's going to change art. The form of art productions, art achieving, and art choice will radically change. Thank you, and see you soon.
네, 감사합니다. 기술은 세상을 변화시켰고 이제는 예술을 변화시킬 거라는 마지막 말씀이 정말 인상 깊었는데요. 크레이지 먼키님께 감사의 말씀 드립니다. 네, 이어서 두 번째 연사분을 만나보겠습니다. 태국의 27 June 스튜디오의 창립자이자 다원 예술가로 활동 중이신 파위몰 쌈세님입니다. 파위몰 쌈세님은 문화의 기술을 더해서 관람객의 경험을 극대화하는 예술가인데요. 소수 부족민의 전통 춤에 사운드 리액티브 기술을 접목시킨다거나 아니면 전시 작품에 프로젝트 매핑 기술을 접목시키는 등 다양한 창작 활동을 하고 계십니다. 자세한 이야기는 태국의 파위몰 쌈체님께 직접 들어보겠습니다.
Thank you for inviting me to this session. My name is Pavimon Samse, or TT. I'm the founder of 27 June Studio, which is a creative technology and experience design studio based in Bangkok, Thailand. As you might be curious, why we chose the name 27 June? Actually, it's because the two founders, which are Shianon and I, were born in the same day. Shianon is a tech person and I'm a creative person. So basically our work is a combination of creativity and technology. And we believe that technology is a good tool for us to expand our ability to create our works. Like sometimes we would like to create something that seems very magical, and technology can get rid of any limitations and help us to achieve what we want. We also mainly use the interactive technology in most of our projects, as we believe that it can engage people, it can attract people to interact with our works. To make this happen, we work with a real-time graphic software like Touch Designer, Resloom, and Unreal Engine. A good example is our first projection mapping performance that tells a poem about time and presence. We encourage people to be performers when they enter the designated space and move their body. The motion graphics of themselves are generated in real time and projected on the wall. In this way, people have more engagement with the story of the poem. We apply this interactive approach to Thai culture industry as well, because we believe that to preserve something is not just keep it the way it is, but to improve it and to find a way to accommodate it or make it live in the present day. So we've done a project with Thai Songdam, which is a small tribe in Thailand. Normally, during their traditional celebrations, they dance around a bamboo sculpture that they made together. What we have done is integrate a sound reactive technology with their traditional bamboo sculpture so that the lights in the bamboo interact with the music while they are dancing. The result is that it enhances both performers and audience experiences. We use the sound reactive technology with other projects as well. But in this case, as you can see on the screen, we use a projector to project the interactive graphics on handpan and ranad, which is a Thai musical instrument. It did a great job as usual. Unexpectedly, the musicians told us that when he saw the visuals, he could feel the movements and the way he played the music changed according to the visuals. So I think it's more like a feedback loop between the visuals, music, and performance. I do agree with Crazy Monkey that technology can definitely change arts and culture. It can create new possibilities, new experiences, and it doesn't have to be on 2D canvas anymore. It can be on any creative space or surfaces or forms like a fabric or a musical instrument or mirror or even on people. And I think the ability of technology can create unprecedented experience and new culture with respect to the traditional one. Thank you.
네, 기술은 예술과 문화를 변화시킬 수 있으며 또 새로운 가능성과 경험을 창조하는 수단이라고 말씀해 주신 것이 기억에 남는데요. 무엇보다 이렇게 전통 음악에 새로움을 부여했다는 점에서 굉장히 흥미로움을 느꼈습니다. 네, 이번에는 아시아 각국의 전통 음악과 또 기술을 결합한 창작 활동을 하는 공연 예술가입니다. 캄보디아의 사피봉 님입니다. 사피봉 님은 런던에 거주하고 있는 아티스트인데요. 서구에서 보는 아시아에 대한 어떤 단일한 이미지가 있는 것을 보고 아시아 문화를 조금 더 새로운 관점으로 보여주기 위해서 차이나봇을 설립하셨습니다. 또한 아세안 국가의 아티스트 분들과 활발한 교류를 통해서 새로운 음악을 선사하는 분이시죠. 캄보디아의 사피봉 님을 만나보시겠습니다.
Hey, ASEAN-ROK. Thanks for inviting me as a panelist. My name is Safiron. I'm Cambodian sound and visual artist based in London. I'm mainly a graphic designer, making artwork for bands. I'm the founder of ChinaBot, a platform, record, label, and collective focused on contemporary Asian music. I have been releasing experimental music since 2008. I released my EP App Syntax on Orange Milk from the US. I managed to perform around the world, Japan, Russia, Thailand, Finland. My recent project, Neo Geodesia, has been dedicated to fusing electroacoustic experimental electronic process with traditional Khmer music. Applying digital processing to traditional Khmer instrument, small chanting to honor traditional music form and explore the far edge of sonic expression. So I'm going to talk about my work with several countries and my creative activity, combining Cambodian traditional music with technology. So about art and technology, with the pandemic, museum and venue had to shut down, so everybody need to innovate, experiment, new idea, exhibition or live gigs. It's evolving and it's more prepared for the future. Internet is like a showroom now. As a kid and teenager, I didn't have internet. The digital presence is really important because social distancing. So we had like a virtual space this year in collaboration with two other collectives in London and Tokyo. Eastern Margin and Ivis Magazine. We had like a 3D shopping mall with exhibition and live stream music. So it was possible to hang out with other avatars and check the live music and exhibition. It's so much easier to visit museum now online with Twitch. I also did some online talk with Nosasonic about the future of record labels in South Asia. It was really interesting to share knowledge between each other, even if we are all split in different continent. This digital transformation is now in a better position to adapt to change in the long term. So the future of music will change a lot with technology. I used to play in rock bands before, then I decided to play solo. Computer and hardware are really powerful now. You can produce, mix, master, and quickly upload your tracks on many platforms. About my own music, on my last album, I tried to make a modern version of traditional Cambodian funeral with sampling and MIDI files. So Cambodia is changing quickly. Tradition is still here and important, but need to find a place in this modern world, especially when you can afford like an orchestra for playing at your funeral. I think it's important to transmit, preserve, perform, and compose. We can now digitalize all the archive of music. There is this Korean American artist called Lucy Liu. She combined text-to-speech, sound collage, and Korean poetry. It's really beautiful and so fresh and new. But ChinaBot, it's my record label. I wanted to create like a new digital diaspora connecting Asian artists around the world. My goal is to highlight like Asian experimental electronic musicians. So we're trying to collect and promote exciting Asian music. It's like a mix of Asian music, contemporary and traditional sound. I release music from Mongolia, Thailand, South Korea, Japan, China, and more. It's also easier to organize collaboration between artists and share music fun now. We still release analog music on vinyl or cassette, but of course, digital as well.
캄보디아를 넘어서 아세안의 전통 음악을 기술과 융합하는 차이나봇의 활동을 응원하고 또 기대하겠습니다. 네, 다음으로는 발표해 주신 연사분들과 함께하는 라이브 토론 시간인데요. 라이브 토론은 세션의 주제인 문화예술이 기술을 만날 때를 중심으로 진행이 되고요. 또 시청자분들께서 올려주신 질문에 대한 답변으로 진행이 됩니다. 와우, 벌써 어떤 질문을 읽어야 될지 너무 좋은 질문을 많이 올려주셨네요. 정말 감사합니다. 네, 그럼 세션 1의 문화예술이 기술을 만날 때를 발표해 주신 연사분들을 먼저 모셔보겠습니다. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi. Could you please wave to the camera if you could hear me?
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hello. It's
Hello.
good to see
Hello.
you.
Me too.
So I've prepared some greetings for you. Xin chào, Mr. Crazy Monkey.
Xin chào.
Xin chào.
Xin chào.
And Sawadee ka, Miss Samsen.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadee ka. And swaste, Mr. Bong.
Saturday.
Swaste. First of all, thank you so much for your insightful speeches. As you can see, many people are joining us live right at this moment. We're receiving many, many questions, and I'm eager to ask you all these questions. I mean, hopefully I could ask you as many questions as I can. 네, 여러분 세 분 모두 원활하게 연결됐습니다. 네, 그럼 본격적으로 Q&A 시간을 시작해 보겠습니다. 정말 많은 분들께서 댓글을 올려주고 계신데요. 우선 공통 주제를 제가 먼저 질문해 보겠습니다. So I would like to start off with a question for all three speakers. Okay, so the first question is, first of all, you know how culture and technology works together, like it has developed. So how does the audience in your country respond to such new changes with the development of culture and technology? Could we hear from Mr. Crazy Monkey first?
Okay. Hi. For your questions, with a country with a long tradition like Vietnam, the incorporation of new elements into folk arts is always carefully considered. And some time ago, I also faced some challenge in experimenting with my art because of public reactions. But fortunately, after a while, I found my own audience with all the support and love for my work. And I also act more flexible, and I use non-negative way to expressing my art aesthetic. So everything all seemed easier. So yeah.
Thank you for your comment. I'm glad to hear that more people are loving your work now. 네, 여러분, 크레이지 먼키님께서는 우선 처음에는 사실 조금 어려움도 있었대요. 왜냐하면 이제 대중들에게 좀 익숙하지 않은 새로움이었기 때문에. 하지만 이제는 많은 사람들이 작품을 사랑해 주시기 때문에 앞으로는 조금 더 긍정적인 반응을 얻을 수 있을 것 같다는 말씀을 해주셨습니다. 반응이 더 좋아졌다고 말씀해 주셨네요. 네, 다음은 우리 드디어 그 시청자분들의 라이브 퀘스천을 한번 선정해 보겠습니다. Okay, this time we will choose. But before we move to the personal questions, I will go back to the official question and ask. Yes, I missed Ms. Samson and Mr. Bong. Sorry about that. I apologize. Okay, following next, can we hear from Ms. Samson about the same question?
Okay, sure. In Thailand, from my experience, the combination of culture and technology can kind of attract some groups of people, especially the people who have never interested in Thai culture before and interested in experiencing new things, or people who are interested in technology. And I think like when I integrate culture and technology, I think this group of people can kind of relate more with the Thai culture, as the Thai culture has been presented to them in the way that they can engage to the culture. And as I've done a lot of interactive technology, so in this way, like people can participate or can interact or play with the work itself. So most of them, from my perspective, I think they will feel engaged more with the culture than before, and which leads them to have a greater appreciation of the culture in overall. Yeah.
Thank you for your comment. I'm happy to hear that more people are becoming interested in the Thai culture. 네. 삼세님께서는 경험상 이제 새로운 것이나 기술에 관심이 있는 사람들은 이제 참여하거나 또 경험할 수 있는 방식으로 문화와 기술을 결합했을 때 오히려 태국 문화를 더 잘 파악할 수 있고 또 공감할 수 있는 결과를 가져왔다라는 말씀을 해주셨습니다. 네, 그럼 다음으로는 캄보디아의 사피봉님께 여쭤보겠습니다. Next up, can we hear from Mr. Bong?
Yes, so as a musician, electronic music scene is still very small in Cambodia, but kids are really interested to this new creative way to use hardware, sequencer, computer, sampler, and they can find the same power So they're really interesting, not just in Cambodia, but the Cambodian diaspora around the world. When I made this music video in 3D using like daily life object from Cambodia, they contact me and say like it was nice to see like an abstract way of like Cambodian culture nowadays. And yeah, especially because of the pandemic and being stuck. So it's really important to share together.
Yes, Mr. Bong, thank you for your comment. 네, Mr. Bong께서는 캄보디아는 이제 디지털된 음악에 열광하고 있고요. 또 록과 메탈 같은 장르가 같이 이런 기계 장르 만들어진 음악의 파워를 보고 오히려 열광한다는 의견을 주셨습니다. 네, 감사합니다. 네, 제가 조금 전에부터 이제 이 라이브 시청자분들의 질문 너무 받고 싶어서 조금 서두른 점이 있었는데 그 부분은 다시 한번 죄송합니다. 네, finally moving on, this time we will receive questions from our live audience, the time that we have waited. 네, 이번에는 채팅창을 통해 질문을 선정해 보겠습니다. Yes, let's see what questions we're receiving now. 네. 오, 네네, 엄청 기다리셨습니다. 네네, 감사합니다. Okay, so I think, yes, the next question is for Miss Samsen. 네, 다음 질문은 쌈센님께 드린 질문인데요. 태국 소수 부족의 송담 프로젝트에 대한 관객 반응은 어땠는지 궁금합니다. 그리고 기술을 통해 전통 문화에 대한 인식이 바뀌게 되었다고 생각하시나요? 라고 질문해 주셨네요. Yes, so the next question is for Ms. Samsen. And how have audiences responded to the Thai Small Tribes Songdam project? And do you believe that technology has played a role in changing people's perception of traditional culture?
Okay, I would like to tell you a bit more about my background before I answer the questions. So I've been raised in Thai culture since I was very young because my family business is Thai performance and a music school based in Bangkok, Thailand. So I personally experienced that Thai culture, especially in culture in small Thai, like Thai Songdam, is becoming less popular, especially for the current generation. So as I'm a creative technology, when I start working in integrating technology to the Thai culture, at first, I just would like to create some kind of new and unusual and fascinating experience just to attract more people to learn more about Thai culture. And actually, it's really worked because like the audience is interested in the new experience of the culture and they engage with my work, as you can see in my presentation. And actually, but there is more than that. I've learned from my previous projects that actually I think technology is more than just attracting people to interested in your work, but it's actually like it's a good tool to adding some kind of new dimension to the culture, which lead to the adaptation of the culture in the future as well. Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Samsen, thank you so much for your comment. 네, 쌈센님께서는 사실 이 송담 프로젝트가 비교적 비인기 장르이긴 했지만 그 종목을 좀 기술을 더함으로써 오히려 더 관객들의 관심을 얻었고 호응을 얻을 수 있다라는 말씀을 해주셨습니다. 네, 감사합니다. The next question. Let's see what other questions we have. For the next question, 다음 질문은 네, 사피봉님께서 답변을 주시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 네, 기존 오프라인 공간에서의 협력 방식과 온라인 공간에서의 협력 방식에 어떤 차이가 있는지 여쭤보셨네요. 네, so the next question is for Mr. Bong. So what are the differences in working offline and online? Like the differences between the way you cooperate in offline and online space?
When I used to organize gigs in a real venue, music stage with a proper sound system, but now with the pandemic, we are able to do the live streaming from any country, and it's like different options, like could be in the bedroom, in a theater, or yeah, just a empty shopping mall, and also like a 3D stage. It's like there's still this interaction even online. Of course, there's no more the audience when you organize gigs in front of you, but it's still interesting to collaborate in a way for the future.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bong, for your comment. 우선 온라인 공간에서는 아무래도 시간과 공간의 제약이 없다는 점이 좋다고 말씀해 주셨고요. 또 오프라인 공간에서는 다양한 아티스트 분들과 현장에서 우연히 만나서 작업을 할 수 있고 또 우연성이 있다라는 답변을 해주셨습니다. 와, 네. 질문이 지금 계속 올라오고 있습니다. 네, 다음 질문은 크레이지 몽키님께 온 질문을 받아보겠습니다. Yes.
Hi.
Oh, hello, thank you. So the next question is for Mr. Crazy Monkey. Yes, so Mr. Crazy Monkey, so Ms. Sampson and Mr. Bong, they have shared their experience on how they incorporated their traditional culture with technology. But do you have any projects that you cooperated with, like technology with traditional Vietnamese culture? If not, do you have any plans on doing so in the future?
Hi, thanks for the questions. Recently, I'm working on an NFT project with a Japanese sound artist. His name is Asunori Gihara, and the concept was glorified for Vietnamese traditional ritual dance for Hodong. And with the blockchain technology like NFT, I think that's an interesting way to preserving traditional material in digital form. And that process is quite interesting for both of us. So in this project, I record a dancer performs Hodong dance in volumetric with my depth sensor cameras, while Asunori is experimenting mixing traditional Japanese and Vietnamese native sounds together. I always enjoy working with other artists come from different cultures, and the result is always unexpected and attractive for me. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for your comment. 네, 최근에는 일본 사운드 아티스트 분과 또 NFT 프로젝트를 진행하고 계신다고 하셨습니다. 또 전통 문화를 디지털 형태로 보존하는 것이 너무 흥미로운 것 같습니다. 네. 네, 이어서 지금까지 문화와 기술의 융합으로 변화한 현재 상황에 대해서 이야기를 했다면 이번에는 다가올 미래에 대해서 여쭤보겠습니다. So this is the last question, and this question is for all three speakers. So if ASEAN-ROK gets to engage more actively in the future, what kind of collaborations do you want to work on together? Could we hear from Mr. Bong first?
So yeah, I like to open a new space in Cambodia and bring some artists from different countries in South Asia, East Asia, to do workshop in Cambodia and help the new generation to do music or art. It's going to be a recording studio as well, and a good way to share knowledge together and highlight more South Asia, East Asia, West Asia in the future.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bong. That would be amazing if you could collaborate with the new generation, if you could help them out. That would be really wonderful. 네, 사피봉님께서는 이제 캄보디아 현지의 여러 아티스트 분들과 녹음하고 작업을 하고 싶다고 하셨고요. 무엇보다 신시대 이제 후배님들에게 많이 도움을 주고 싶다고 하셨습니다. 좋은 말씀 감사합니다. 네, 다음은 크레이지 몽키님의 말씀을 들어보겠습니다. Next up, can we hear from Mr. Crazy Monkey?
Yeah, it is all we're hoping for, right? So I wish to have the collaboration with other stage performance artists come from different cultures, especially Asians, where we have a huge cultural resource. And I definitely will use real-time volumetric technology for experimenting with them. So yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Crazy Monkey. I've never heard of this volumetric technology, but this sounds new to me, but it's interesting. Thank you. 네, 크레이지 먼키님께서는 볼륨메트릭 기술로 한 아세안 공연 아티스트 분들과 함께 작업을 해보고 싶다고 말씀해 주셨습니다. 감사합니다. 그럼 마지막으로 파위몰 쌈센님의 말씀을 들어보겠습니다. Lastly, can we hear from Ms. Samsen?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I would like to collaborate with the artists from different cultures who speak different languages and have different specialties. Because I think in this way, like when we have like different culture, we can kind of share and share the knowledge, share the ideas, share the culture between each other. And I think I really love the work from Mr. Crazy Monkey and Mr. Wong. I think we can collaborate to do something together. Like in my opinion right now, after watching your presentation, I think we could do some kind of interactive performance or experience. And Mr. Crazy Monkey can do like all the volumetric technology. I can provide like the performer, and Mr. Wong can do like a sound design for the project. I think it's this way like the culture will be shared, and I think in this way, like when we do like the interactive technology, the visitors and participants can interact with our work and can exchange the culture with us as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samsen. That sounds wonderful. Working with people with, from different cultures and people who speak different language. That
I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yes?
I definitely agree with that.
Agree.
You agree? You agree? What about you, Mr. Bong? Do you agree?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so if you guys get to collaborate with someone from another culture or someone who speaks different language, then do you have any culture or nationality in mind that you would like to specially collaborate with? Ms. Samsen?
Actually, I open to like any possibility or opportunities. I think it will be fun. Okay. Because I don't want to like have in mind first that I want to work with this person from this country or not. I think it's less open for the
so you're
fun
kind
thing.
of open to new things.
Yeah.
And Mr. Crazy Monkey, Mr. Bong, do you have any ideas, any plans?
I've been working with...
Yes.
Sorry.
Maybe the three of you could collaborate together.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be
Okay.
nice.
Yes, thank you for your answer.
It will be fun.
Oh yeah, that will be fun. Thank you so much for your answer. 네, 미스 삼세님께서는 이제 다양한 문화, 다른 문화를 가진 사람들, 또 다른 언어를 사용하는 사람들과 더 다양한 교류를 하고 싶다라고 말씀해 주셨습니다. 네, 감사합니다. 네, 지금까지 문화와 기술이 만날 때를 주제로 아세안 3개국의 아티스트 분과 함께 했습니다. 더 말씀을 나누고 싶지만 시간 관계상 세션 1의 라이브 토론 세션은 여기서 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. We still have many questions left, but due to time limit, we would have to end our discussion here. Thank you so much once again for your time and cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks a lot.